Hello, everyone. Good afternoon, good morning, or whatever your time of your day is today. And welcome back to my show Beyond the Cover with me as on Dreamcatcher Radio as Andrea. So today, before we started to just wrap up what we have learned from the last week, I'm just going to say this is my 18th show. And I want to thank literally everybody for listening to me and from Steve and also Bradley to actually help me out as well and starting my journey. So I will say thank you so much. And I will thank as well for those who have been, asking questions, some observations as well. So keep it up with that, guys. I really appreciate it. Now let's see the first observation, let's say. So someone says, "Hi, my name is Jenny. I will enjoy your show. I am currently reading You Are Here by David Knuckles, I think is how you pronounce his last name. Well, Jenny, I want to say thank you so much for liking my show. I'm here just to make people see my passion and like for literature, books, and writing as well, writing techniques. And honestly, if those are interested, I'm here. If you need some second advice, I'm here. But most of all, I'm very pleased that you started at least reading a book. Because reading a physical book, or even if it is digital, is good for our brain. And I think we need to read more and more and more. And I mean, regardless of the genre you guys are reading, it's very good if you pick up a book and start to read. Because your brain develops, and also I think it's good as well for dementia as well. I think there is a study on that. And also your vocabulary actually improves. And you'll be proud of yourself. And, you have something as well for a collection. Because, yes, besides I read and get inspired for the books I read, I also like to have my kind of collection. And it's one of collections that I consider very good. So, Jenny, thank you so much for liking my book. And I'm very pleased that you're reading your book. So, enjoy You Are Here by David Knuckles. Now, the second is another observation. It comes from James from St. Albans. And he says, I am currently writing an autobiography. You have given me some ideas, so thank you. Well, James, what I have to say to you is congratulations to come up to the world. Because that on itself is not easy to do. What are you doing is a very courageous act. And I say this because it's not easy for some people, in some writers, unfortunately, because there's not that support. And this is why my show here on Dreamcatcher Radio is for that as well, to support writers to step up and say, I can write this, I'm capable of doing this, and just to give them the courage. And I'm very pleased that my show have given you some ideas. And I'm going to say, go forward. Write your autobiography, and James, you will rock and find an agent, because you have to find once you know that you finish that book. Next step is finding an agent and to know how to write a career letter, because you need to do that. But speaking of that, because when I read your observation, James, I actually thought of something interesting, because what you're telling me is, as you know, that's as far as I've been, telling stuff about writing and techniques and stuff in great detail, it's more for fiction book, but you're writing an autobiography, which is a non-fiction. But do you know, perhaps you know, I don't know, but sounds just so for those who are listening to me as well, there's a thing called creative non-fiction. This is a mixture of fiction as we know with non-fiction. Is a new genre that's happening very recently. And mostly all publishers out there are actually, those who deal with non-fiction, are looking for that as well. So, congratulations to step on that. And I'm just going to say, just an extra for you, because you talked about this, James. If you like to, because of autobiography, the two books I'm going to mention are not autobiographies, but it could help you to see what I'm trying to say, what I mean creative non-fiction, which is The Yoga Manifesto by Nadia Gilani and The Revolutionary Afterlife of Paradise Lost by Orlando Reid. So if you have time, or if everyone really doesn't mean necessary to be just James, but everyone's listening to me, and if you are interested, how does creative nonfiction looks like? Just check out these two authors and see how they write. So James, if you can do that, if you think it's very interesting, just to see how you can also amplify your book. And I'm gonna say it again: go forward, and you got this. Okay, you got this. The third question comes for Peter, and he asks, "Do you do song requests?" Well, Peter, this might be something strange, but usually I don't. This mostly because I don't really know if people want me to play the music. Probably they do. And because I just, I have this genre which is mostly metal, gothic, and genre of metal and gothic variation is very vast. They can actually collide sometimes. They can mash sometimes. And I try to bring to my show new bands, because I could talk, I could just play Iron Maiden, Metallica, Judas Priest, or even, The Cure, which I actually brought The Cure one of music, which is a love song. But it's already new bands, and I'm trying to find new bands that can bring to the show and say, hey, you've got this band that is new, just come out this year, or even 5 years, who knows? But nobody talked about them, so I am trying to bring new bands. However, I can reconsider to do song requests, but Peter, keep in mind, has to be from the genre I've here, which is metal and gothic, and you have to try to find bands that are not well known to the market, just to give also some space to shine as well. So, Peter, this is my answer to your question. I go for it. Ashley says, I heard you say you're writing your own book at the moment. Pardon me. What is the biggest hurdles you had to overcome, if any? Well, Ashley, my book, at least first, all the series is called, of course, it is a translation what the cosmic being name means, which is Benevolence Fall. And that's it. The first of the series. Reading to your question, how was my biggest hurdles and how I overcome them? That depends. Do you mean by me overcoming, let's say, I don't know, how do I overcome some writer's block? Do you mean out of inspiration? Do you mean, I don't know, sometimes I feel that some days I can write nothing, so what do I do in these circumstances, even though I have to write? This really depends on the situation. What I try to do in general is, every single day, except days I find myself to rest my mind for writing, I think to myself, okay, right now I have to come out of I've come to my routine, and because I follow a strict routine, has to be certain hours, so it's very difficult for me also to think, okay, if this time is going to happen this and this and this, and I have to plan ahead so then I can. It's a very thing to explain to you, but I write a lot of routine myself, so. But overcoming something on my writing, usually I just try to see the situation, and if I say, today I'm not feeling in the mood to write, I don't write. And that's okay. Because sometimes I think we have to listen to our body. When our body is very exhausted, is because we have to rest. Because our body is telling us, hey, we're getting heavy. It's just like But our minds sometimes is our enemy in a sense, not our enemy, but you know what I'm talking about. It's like our mind says something like, no, you have to keep going, otherwise you are lazy. No, you're not lazy. You have to rest. A good writer, I think, should rest. My opinion. Because, sometimes, you're not there, and that's okay. But overcoming obstacles, like, I don't know, lack of inspiration or writer's block, I do stuff that can be related to it. Sometimes I stop writing, but I can, I can see series, programs, documents. I can also read, and read is part of a big portion of being a writer is to read a lot. I mean really, really reading a lot. So you see, Ashley, it's very complicated to explain to you one simple thing because it's a lot of things happening at the same time. I hope I answered your question, at least for this side of part. So thank you so much to ask me this, Ashley. So Bina from Croydon asks, it seems you read a lot. How many books do you read a week, month, or year? Oof, that's a big question you're asking, Bina. Because per month, I'm not sure, not even per week. And I say this because it's very complicated because it depends on the weather. At least for me, it depends a lot of the weather. If it is a beautiful weather, I can read well. If it is like raining or something like that, because I like to read in the garden, and because I have just my bed and my chair, I don't feel comfortable reading in the chair or reading in the bed. I just don't. But some people do. And that's okay. It's just me. So what I can say is that I try, and it is of course comes from the Goodreads, to keep a track of my reading habits. And if for those who know, Goodreads is a website that allows you to at least to keep track of the books that you want to read and the ones you are reading. And they offer some challenge as well. So I can say usually per year, I try to read 50-55 books, at least per year. So it's a lot. I know it's a lot. But that's my habit. I like to read. And I get the habit to read. So that's pretty much it. So thank you so much for those who just put out questions for me today. And just keep it up. Let me know advice you want me for the writing. Let me know what you're enjoying the show and other stuff. So now let's pause here and let's introduce my first gothic song of the week. And the band is called Corpus Delicti. And the song is called Saraband. This is a French gothic band formed in 1992. After 23 years away, they happily are back from the dead and touring. The sound is melodic, dark, and great to dancing. So guys, enjoy.
What you meant to tell will never be. The silence like a mermaid in a dreary sea. The evil hand inside of him, and oh, it's so different when I'm cold and silent. You're setting the fire to draw your heart. They're jumping and dancing and loving and kissing on and on. They're dying and bleeding and hating and sighing on and on. I take back my trust in you. I take back my trust in you. Died in the river's bed, drowned by her sorrow. The waves carried her body in shreds. Her soul will follow, and the words he meant to tell will never be. He's diving with sadness in unknown dark and spellbound seas. The fading moon will shine on him, and oh, it's so different when I'm cold and silent. We're setting a fire to draw your heart. They're jumping and dancing and loving and kissing on and on. They're dying and bleeding and hating and sighing on and on. I take back my trust in you. I take back my trust in you. My trust in you. My trust in you.
What an absolutely banger of a song. I really hope, guys, you enjoy Corpus Delecti, Sarah Band. And now we're going to finally just recap what we have done on the last week. We started to see in detail how world building works. And we start to see that it's not just come up of ideas. We have to think about something extra as well. And I'm going to say it again. For those who are interested to come up with your own things, just keep in mind what I have told on the last week. It's not a step-by-step, but just a guide. Because you can come up with your own things. For example, I start from the beginning of the beginnings because for me it makes a lot of sense. It allows me to think how everything started. But you don't need to be like this. You can just say, the beginning of the beginning sounds a bit too much for me. I will not do that. I'm not interested. It doesn't serve the purpose of the story, so I'm going to skip that. That's okay as well. Because we writers have our own ways to solve our problems. We have our ways to get inspired even. This, I think, is the correct way to say. And not everybody is the same. And we have to know how it works for us. Because what works for me might not work for you. And we start to see subjects like the terrain, the climate, cosmology, fauna, natural resources. We covered a lot of things. Magic and borders. This is all at least things that are at your side, you can touch and see and feel even. tell about the climate, about, for example, if the mountains are going to have some significance in your story, how magic is going to play, what kind of magic. Is there any cosmology in your world, for example, the gods or extraterrestrial beings or even cosmic beings, the fun or the natural resources it is in your world. This is all can be interesting to explore. And if you're writing on your own, go bonkers. Just see what is backs, because if everything makes sense, you have to make sure that everything makes sense. Because once you say, okay, this makes sense to happen, this and this, your readers, if it is fantasy, are going to say, yeah, I'm into this. This is into it. Yes, I'm into this. I can dig this. If you like speaking like this, more things, yeah. But of course, we're going to touch again later on when I talk about genres in very specific detail. There are specific genres on sci-fi that you have to be very careful, because you have to be very heavy in science fiction, in science. So in this case, you have to be more careful how you do things. But let's see in advance, of course, how these things spell up. And then we start as well to see on the cultural world building. And we just started to see language and history. We stop on history. Now let's see other aspects that might be important to your world as well. Religion. What are the most popular religions in your world? Is there one dominant religion? What are the core tenets of the primary religion? In this world, is religion a tool for good or for evil, or both? In what ways? How does religion influence the way characters relate to one another? What roles does religion play in a governance? If you think about the natural world, this is how it actually plays. For example, how Christianity started, or the religions as well around the world, for example, Hinduism or even Buddhism. This all makes sense if you really stop to think a little bit. Or you want your characters to react depending on their religion, right? You have to think, actually, we work in one world as well. How do you think Christians react when they see other religions, or vice versa? How do you see, I don't know, a Buddhism? What is the philosophy of a Buddhism? Why Hindus, worship Shiva, for example, or Krishna? There's all these things you have to think about. And religion might be part of a culture or not. It could not be. It could be it could be once a religion that was very influenced at the time, and right now, for some reason, it got destroyed. So, who destroyed them? I don't know. You have to figure out. You have to see, okay, if I want this religion to go away, what I'm going to do with this? What causes this religion to fall? It could be many reasons, and as you're going to explore that. But religion can be one of the elements of your one story. Next, traditions. What rites or pastimes are common in this world? Or how are births and deaths handled? Are there holidays? What do the inhabitants of this world celebrate, and how do they celebrate it? This is a very interesting one, actually, because if you think about history, religion, and also language, this is coming start like the terrain and stuff coming ahead. It all makes sense. It all makes all sense. Because once you start to think, okay, I got to create the city, these inhabitants, they have these traditions, automatically to think religion, language, and history. So traditions is very connected with one another. And you have to think, as it says here, rites of passage, for example, if there is any, how births and deaths are handled. For example, I don't know, some of your city may handle death poorly. In some other parts of the country, may actually sing and dance when somebody's dead. Who knows? Or there is any holidays. Perhaps there is, and they're connected with the religion. And how the this was celebrated, and how do they celebrate it? This could be, multiple ways. See other traditions as your own country or other countries even. I like to see other countries for inspiration because it's so much vast, it's so interesting. It's really a vast world. And once we realize that we can do this to our stories, I think it's so fascinating to connect all these things. And the next topic will be the class system. Because, yes, there has to be a class system. It's part, again, history, religion, etc. Who holds the power in this world and why? How do the inhabitants of this world build wealth? If they are poor, who keeps them poor? If there's no such thing as monetary wealth, how else do the beings of this world measure the value? So again, for the class system, see the class system for the world, how we all will work together. Because this is going to give you some of the inspiration. And as you start to think, you know what? There's some logic here. Because we know the king is above all. But then comes the next. Of course, it could be a government, the president, if you're building in an urban fantasy world, for example. Then you have to think about that. And for this, we're going to stop here for now. And we're going to introduce my next song, the first metal band song, and it's called Arbitrary, Redneck Stop. This is going to be a melodic song. It is an American death metal song formed in 1984, and they are still around. Enjoy. What in a beggar of a song. I really hope you enjoyed the Redneck Stomp by Robert Terry. As you can see, not all metal bands are growls and screams. They can just be like this. Just the guitars, the drums playing. And that's it. Now let's continue our show. Because we're not done yet. No, there's more to tell. So we just start to see that religion, traditions, class system are also at least these three last parts of cultural well-being that you need to be aware of. And now let's see about politics and government. What is the style of government in these worlds? How are laws created and enforced? Who holds power in the current government? How do the inhabitants of this world feel about those who govern them? Are there or could there be any conflicts between this government and another? Because yes, even if you create a specific world building or specific cities, not every ruler is going to rule the same. And because of that, you have to keep in mind how they're going to do the laws. I don't know, a king might be against a certain rule regarding, language. Another rule can be against religion. Another religion because XXX reasons. It's how you to think about when you do this. And let's see other big cultural questions that you can ask as well. And this can then be the last thing you have to do, that you should pay attention while doing your world building. What does the military look like? What is the primary industry in this world? Describing the food, describe the fashion, and who's considered good in this culture? Who's considered bad? Would you agree? Would your reader also do this? So, yes, these are just other questions you can ask, but you can ask other questions that you think if it's better for your story. What matter is, what thus far I've told you, and I'm going to say it again, just a reminder, in terms of terrains, in terms of cultural world building, politics and government, and you can just add other questions. Everything has to make sense. It has to serve your story. Otherwise, you need to start over again, if you start over again, or to rethink. Because sometimes things might not work out, and that's okay. Because remember that you are in process of creation. And sometimes things don't work well. And this requires for you to redo. And it's the process of creativity. And now you might ask, but how do I organize all of this? Because what have I told you thus far is there's a lot to think about, there's a lot to investigate, there's a lot to go out there and do some research. But the thing is, mapping all the discoveries you have done with this world building, got your world building Bible. You can do this. A world building Bible is the place where you store information about your fictional world. Maps, sketches, stories, everything around it. This could be a physical binder if you like to keep it old school, or you could restore this information on a word processor. And the whole processor, for example, think about Double, Obsidian, Google Docs, Legend Keeper, and the list goes on. This is all depends how you want to organize yourself. It depends who you are. If you like things in digital, go digital. If you like old school, do old school. And now you might ask, how do I know when I am ready to write? Because yes, world building requires a lot of time. This is a good question, because I can answer for you, to be honest. Because how much world building you need to do depends on the nature of your story. And because each story is different, there is no universal answer. What I can remind you of is the central goal of this is to build a world that serves your story. So let your story tell you when you are done. For example, do you have a clear grasp of the cultural and physical elements that influence who your characters are and the obstacles they fear or face, for example? Are you able to make this world vivid and real to your reader? Then you probably are ready to that. But if you find yourself writing too much or building and worry too much about the world and not story, then step back a little and write your novel. Try to find a balance when it's possible. And ladies and gentlemen, we finish our building. As you can see, there's not really much. But I'm hoping this guide have told you a little bit what you can do with your own world and to start it. Because I know sometimes it's very difficult to start things because of fears and that stuff. But think that you are in the process of creation, and creation is the best. Because this is where you can be absolutely bonkers with your story and everything you do. And for that, I'm giving a pause, and I'm going to introduce my second Gothic band for this week, and it's called Cellophane. Give me a reason. This is a duo from Greece formed in 2012, with an iconic sound which they describe as undefinable. Whatever this is, enjoy, guys. What an amazing, amazing song. I really, guys, hope you enjoy Cellophane. Give me a reason. And now, as you probably have seen on my shorts on the Brad TikTok account, now let's talk about the book festivals for the next month, which is in September. Now, let's just see, on October, actually. I really apologize, it's October. So let's see. Clapham Book Festival. In London, the Clapham Book Festival 2025 will take place in 11th of October, bringing interesting and entertaining bookish discussion on Clapton. So if you want more information, guys, go to claptonbookfestival.com. Next is Durham Book Festival. Northeast Durham Book Festival takes place in 10th to 12th October at Gala Durham, Clayport Library, and collected books. Audiences can also join in online if you guys want. So if you want more information about this, you can go to newwritingnorth.com, Durham Book Festival. Next on that is Harrogate Literary Festival. It's in Yorkshire and the Humber. Harrogate Literary Festival runs from the 3rd to 18th of October. And if you guys want more information, you can go to harrogateinternationalfestivals.com, and you should see a place to say festival, Narrows Harrogate Literature Festival. If you go to this page, you see that. Now, Portobello Book Festival. The Portobello Festival will take place in Scotland from 3rd to 5th October of 2025. If you want to get more information, portobellobookfestival.com is the place to go. The next is The Coast is Queer. Now, this is a LGBTQIA plus literature festival based in Southeast, the UK's biggest and brightest, as they say in the place, taking from the 9th to 12th of October. Again, guys, more information, coastisqueer.com is the place to go. Now, on Wantage Literary Festival, Southeast Wantage Literary Festival 2025 is going to happen between 25th and 31st of October to 6th of November. So keep this in mind. This is not just one or two or just 1 week. It can be also several. If you know what kind of things are going to happen, go to the website, wantageliterary.festival.co.uk. It's going to be a lot of festivals today to share, so bear with me. Tobermory Book Festival. That is a Scottish book festival. It starts from 3rd to 19th of October. And if you want more information, it's the tobermorybookfestival.com.uk. So, Wokingham Children's Book Festival is in Southeast Children's Book Festival will be held on the weekend of Saturday, October 18th to Sunday, October 19th. And if you want more information, go to wokingham.gov.uk. You're going to see on the council events, you should see them. So in the Blackgore Wire Book Festival, it's a Scottish book festival. This will be held on the 4th to 5th of October. And again, if you want to see more about this, it is going to be on the book markblair.com. Now, I think this one here, oh my gosh, the name, Wilclay, I think so you pronounce, Book Festival. A book festival from Yorkshire and the Humber held from 3rd to 19th of October. Again, if you want more information, guys, go to Whiteley literatureFestival.org.uk. Manchester Literature Festival. Northwest Book Festival is held for the 7th to 25th of October. If you want to know more about this, go to manchesterliteraturefestival.co.uk. Wimbledon Book Festival. This book festival held in London from the 16th to 26th of October. If you want to go more, go to the website wimbledonbookfest.org. The next is Guildford Book Festival. And this book festival held in London will start from the 14th of September to 23rd of October. And for more information, you can go to guildfordbookfestival.co.uk. And next one is Warwick Book Festival, a Northwest Book Festival starting from 6th to 12th of October. And again, if you want more information, go to warwickliterallyfestival.com. You should see that more about this book festival. The next one is Cockfield Book Festival, a Southeast Book Festival starting from the 3rd to the 5th of October. And is going to bring amazing authors, brilliant books, and charming Cockfield, at least the city, I imagine. So, cockfieldbookfest.co.uk is the place you should go if you want to find more or you want to purchase your tickets to go. The next is Island of Widely Literally Festival, a Southeast Book Festival starting from the 9th to 12th October. If you want to know more, it is for the Island of Literally Festival.com. Next is Waltham Book Festival. It's a Southwest Book Festival starting from 10th to 19th October. Apparently, it's going to have 400 events and 1,500 speakers. So, if you want to go there, go to the website Cheltenham Festival.org, Festivals Literature Festival. So go then. Boston Book Festival. It is going to take in East of England, and I believe is one day. But if you want to make sure, bostonengland.co.uk, Events Boston Book Festival. You have to go. And this is a off-the-shelf festival books. Going to be in Sheffield. The South Yorkshire Book Festival will be from 10th October to 10th of November. So it's going to be 1 month. So it's going to pardon. If you want to know more, go to offtheshelf.org.uk. And that's it. There's a lot of book festivals next month. So be ready. I hope you guys have noted. If not, I hope. And I hope you're going to enjoy the book festivals as much as you can. And let's see now my oh my gosh, here. Yeah. So my second metal band song for this week is called One Morning Left, Tokyo Love. This is a Finnish metalcore band formed in 2008. They set the track with its infectious energy and bold sounds perfectly showcases the band's dynamic fusion of 80s influences and modern metalcore. The band describes themselves as an hyperactive, boundary-pushing feel-good act. Their unique sense of humor sets them apart from other Nordic metal bands. The Levi Luto, the vocalist, says, "Musically, we rely on the 80s and 90s, and we do not take ourselves too seriously. Sometimes people look at you in a funny way if you mess around too much. You can dance to the beat of the music, and that's fantastic. So guys, enjoy."
「
What an amazing, amazing, energetic song indeed. I really hope you guys enjoy One Morning Left Talk Your Love. It is what it is about, isn't it? It is this very, very hyper energy to dance and to just bang your head. I don't know. I really feel energized listening to this song, and I really hope you guys did as well. Well, nothing much to do here right now, but what I can say is on the next show, we're going to start to talk about point of view. We're going to see the points of views very common in writing and also the books that you guys read. We're going to see why the importance of the point of views and, how to do with it as well. We might touch in some, let's say, grammar stuff, but not in real depth, of course, but just in general some things at least to see how things work. But yes, I really hope you guys really enjoyed today's show with the world building, and I hope you are enjoy writing your world building as well. Be creative, be bonkers. Don't pay much attention people don't like. Just say to yourself this. I am doing this because I'm creative and I like to create things, and this is the path I'm gonna take. Yes, it sounds very easy to say and say, oh yeah, this is easy to say than done, Andrea. Of course you're saying that. No, but with the things that are happening, I think creative now is going to bring a shine to the world, a new light. And I really mean it. Whatever you're writing your next, your next romance, your next grim, dark fantasy, or your historical, guys, go for it. You are capable. You can do it. If someone out there can, you also can. Of course, never compare yourself to others because it's not the way to go. What you can say isn't a positive thing, is this person is more experienced than me. I can also try to gain some experience with time. And with that, for a positive thing, I'm going to leave with my third and last goth metal band for this week. And it's called Cold Cave. And the song is A Little Death to Love. And one-man band from Los Angeles, founded in 2007. Self-described as a college of dark wave, noise, and synth pop. They are crisper and danceable. Enjoy.
Give me half the
And that's pretty much it. Cold Cave, A Little Left Love. I just found the title very, very funny, to be fair. Just a quick reminder, guys, that we have another shows on the Dreamcatcher Radio. If you would like to continue to listen to us, please see from the 2 to 6, Kim and Carl creating a ripple of transformation. From 4 to 7, Lisa King and Apologetic You, and then the next is going to be Dear Manager.